What is going on, guys? It's your boy LastChanceFPS, or you can call me Chance. In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys my final review of the Battlefield 5 beta. You guys know I did only stream it once on my channel, unfortunately, but I also got a bunch of hours played off stream. So I did get a good amount of hours played into the beta to make a final opinions and beta breakdown video. I also want to make a caveat that there's two different, categories I want to talk about in my review video. One is just going to be simply gameplay mechanics and how the game felt and played, all the pros and cons for that, and then there's also a couple things I want to talk about outside of the gameplay aspect for the game that I definitely do have some problems and concerns that I want to talk to you guys about. I also want to make very clear that I am by no means a long-term Battlefield fanboy or player, whatever you want to call it. My first Battlefield was Battlefield 3, and I've played every Battlefield leading up to that. I played Battlefield 3, 4, Hardline, a lot of Battlefield 1, and now Battlefield 5. Battlefield 1 was the first Battlefield I really got to play. I almost reached level 100, so I definitely put plenty of hours into that game. All the Battlefields before that, I kind of just played in my free time whenever my friends were on, nothing too serious. But I feel like going into Battlefield 5, I definitely have a better idea of what I'm talking about for what a Battlefield game should play and feel like. And that's what I want to talk about with you guys in this video. So without further ado, guys, let's hop into the pros and cons for Battlefield 5. So the first pro I want to talk about for Battlefield 5 for the gameplay mechanics is the graphics. Now, saying that the graphics are good in this game, I think, is an understatement. They did a phenomenal job of making the game feel realistic. Battlefield 5 definitely did this right, so I really want to make clear that graphically, this game is outstanding. That's what really sets Battlefield 5 apart, is because it's a more realistic shooter game compared to, let's say, Call of Duty, or even now with Fortnite being as popular as it is. So I definitely feel like the graphics are definitely A+ in this game, and I want to make that very, very clear. The next thing I want to talk about is the gunplay. I actually really like the gunplay mechanics in this game. I feel like they did a definitely better job compared to last year at Battlefield 1. It feels a lot more like Call of Duty and just more tight and compact, and just it feels more realistic. You know, I feel like when I'm shooting, it's not wonky or clunky or anything like that. It's really realistic. Next thing I want to talk about is the grand operations. They did the same thing or introduced it in Battlefield 1, and I feel like they just copied and pasted, and they did a great job. But that was only one of the two game modes that you could play, so there really wasn't anything else to play but mostly operations. And then the final thing I want to talk about for the pros that I liked is there was absolutely no lag. I did not really have that many connection problems. I've had betas in the past that I've played where it's been really laggy and just terrible connections, but I feel like they did a really good job. And honestly, with it being such a big server size, I feel like having good connection and no lag is definitely something that a game like this should have, and I feel like they've done a really good job. And yeah, definitely no lag in this beta, which I really did appreciate. So the next thing I want to talk about is the cons. And honestly, guys, I was really critiquing this game. I feel like there's a lot more cons that I've noticed compared to the pros. First thing I did not like is the sound. I don't know what they did with the sound engine with this game, but I had a really hard time tracking people and hearing people around me. Just hearing people was really difficult, so I don't know what they did with the sounds, but I definitely want to bring that to light, and I hope that they fix that. The next thing I want to talk about is the time to kill. I think it was a little bit too fast, kind of closer to Call of Duty. I like the Battlefield games where it's not really slow, but not super fast like this game. I kind of feel like that middle ground is good. I think Battlefield 1's time to kill was perfect. I don't know why they made it faster. I just feel like you die way too fast, and for a game with a map that are this big, I just feel like having too fast of a time to kill isn't really that beneficial. So yeah, the time to kill, I definitely think they need to bump it up and make the time to kill a little bit slower. The next thing I want to talk about is the whole ammo and scavenger pack system. I don't know why, but they literally only give you one mag reserve on top of the magazine already in your gun. So basically, if a gun had 30 bullets in the mag, you only have 60 bullets total when you spawn in. Honestly, I hate that. I liked it better in the previous Battlefields where you would load in with obviously your mag and your gun, as well as 3 or 4 reserve mags. I don't know why they changed with those scavenger pack. I guess they tried to make it realistic, which we'll get to later. But yeah, I wasn't really a fan of the low ammo count, and it got me killed a lot. It got really frustrating. I really want them to change the ammo around, and that also leads me into my next topic, which is the last stand / death screen. I don't know why they changed it from Battlefield 1. I thought Battlefield 1 was fine. If you die, you go into this menu screen where you could either instantly respawn, or you can hold out and see how close medics are in your vicinity. I don't know why they changed it. Now there's this dumb thing where if you die, you could put in a last stand, and you kind of either have to hold down the trigger to respawn, or you could stay there and wait for a friendly to revive you. It takes way too long. I feel like when you die and then when you're allowed to respawn back into the action, it just takes way too freaking long. Really want them to basically completely rework the death screen system. Next thing I want to talk about, I guess, is kind of like the taking damage indicator. I don't know if this is also tied in with the time to kill, but I just feel like when you get shot, you really didn't know how, if you were taking shots immediately, like they didn't make it like super obvious. So I would just find like I would get shot once and I really wouldn't realize it, and then you were just dead. Nothing would really change on my screen, no audio cues or nothing. So yeah, the taking damage definitely needs to get tuned up in the full game release. Next thing I want to talk about is the self regen aspect of the game. I just feel like, again, it's just way too slow. The only way to get more health is to go through a medic. And I just feel like in this game with such a high time to kill, you're pretty much guaranteed to die if you run into an enemy when you have low health. And I just found that very frustrating. I don't know why that is. I can understand you not having the ability to fully regen health, not being biomedic, but they need to add something where like you get some health or just something, because if you have really low health and you can't regen health and you pretty much run into a gunfight, you're dead. I don't like that at all. They definitely need to change that. Next thing I want to talk about is the too long screen times between operation rounds. They have this cutscene system again like Battlefield 1 previously, and I just feel like it's way too long. I don't want to sit there for another like 2 minutes and wait for the rounds to begin. So they definitely need to chop down the time on that. Kind of a minor change. Second to last thing I want to bring up is that the vehicles in this game are pretty much useless. I noticed they have an ammo limit, which I can understand to make it more realistic, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like they're really weak and they don't really kill people that well. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, I suck with vehicles, I'm not sure. They just need to change something with the vehicles, because personally I don't like them at all throughout this beta. And then the final thing I want to talk about is just playing this game solo. Now for me, I'm mostly a solo player. When you play solo, it doesn't really reward you that much, and it makes it very difficult to do well in game. I feel like if you play in a full squad, you're in a lot more benefit to do well in game and to have better teamwork, because I feel like this game has worked a lot around teamwork. So for solo players like me, I just feel like it was really hard to do well. Personally for me, playing this game solo was an absolute nightmare. With all of the gameplay pros and cons talked about, honestly, if I had to give this game an overall rating for how I thought the game felt, just strictly based on the gameplay aspects, I would have to give this rating somewhere around a 7 out of 10. I think that's even being kind of generous. I think you could also give this game only like a 6 or a 6.5 out of 10. I just feel like there's way more problems than good things about the game that I definitely think that they need to fix. But yeah, with all of the gameplay aspects out of the way, there's a couple things I want to talk about outside of the gameplay aspects, some more of like the in real life stuff. First thing I want to talk about is the game chat filtering stuff, and there's actually a clip from my good man Angry Joe Gamer, and he had this stream highlight clip of him typing in certain keywords in the game chat, and this is what ended up happening.
Okay, I've been wanting to try this. Ready? White man.
Objective data has been lost.
That's not.
The sector has been lost.
Dell, that shit is legit.
What is?
Asian man.
Fortify your position. Prepare to defend the sector.
What's
brown
legit?
man.
Oh.
White man.
Oh my god, I'm looking at chat.
What? What the fuck? Why is white man a bad word? Oh man.
So yeah, after he typed in white man in the chat, it ended up being filtered and censored out. Now, there's other keywords that EA has come out and made public that they censored, things like DLC because of all the memes, coincidentally, as well as other things like Nazi and lag and other things like that. So I kind of understand some of the other keywords and why they're censored, but why white man? I really don't understand why that is, and I think it's kind of asinine why they did that. I think it is kind of ridiculous considered I am a white man myself, so I don't really take too much offense to that, but they definitely do need to change that when the full game comes out, because to be honest, that's just pretty ridiculous in my opinion. Now, one of the community managers over at Battlefield actually made a statement on the Battlefield forums, and this is actually from Braddock, which again is the community manager for Battlefield, and said that, "Hello Battlefield 5 open beta players. We are really excited to have you join us in our Battlefield 5 open beta, and we hope that you're enjoying the beta and the new features. One of the few new features we're looking on is the profanity filter in-game chat to reduce toxicity. That being said, we have heard some complaints that the filter is blocking words that aren't profanity at all or shouldn't be blocked, like DLC, etc. And this isn't blocking some words that should be other things like white man, like I saw in the clip. Please note this is a work in progress, and we will be taking this feedback to tweak the sensitivity of the filter and improve its usage without censoring relevant conversation. So yeah, that kind of makes me feel better about it. I think it's still kind of asinine. They definitely do need to change it because, yeah, it's really stupid, but at the end of the day, maybe it's a bug. We're not really too sure, but hopefully they do fix it regardless. Now, after this and other things went down throughout the beta, there was actually an article published actually a little bit before the game came out, and it basically wanted to talk about the sales of the game. So the article reads, analyst predicts EA's Battlefield 5 will be a serious disappointment, and says pre-orders lags Call of Duty Black Ops 4 by more than 85%. Now, honestly, I think that's hilarious because that definitely makes sense. You guys also saw the trailer of Battlefield 5 come out a couple months ago, and you guys saw all the asinine things that they're trying to force and basically push narratives in the beta reveal trailer, like women soldiers just kicking ass and being on the front lines of the battlefield and just destroying everything. Honestly, I could understand maybe in the customization in-game of putting and being able to play as a female soldier, but I just feel like when you're trying to make a World War II game, you should also kind of like push the brakes and try to be more realistic in the game. Everybody in the comment section, as well as the like to dislike ratio, which I also made a screenshot of, it's like almost 500,000 dislikes as I'm making this video. It's absolutely hilarious. It makes so much sense. Female soldiers, let's be honest, we're not on the front lines doing this. I think it's kind of bullshit. I'm not falling for it. So the last thing I want to talk about is the female soldiers aspects. Again, going back to this like in the trailer, and one of the high EA reps over at DICE also came out with a statement addressing the matter of the female soldiers. Now, I'm going to put the article up on screen, obviously, but there's basically all the important parts are at the bottom, and it starts out with, we felt like in today's world, I have a 13-year-old daughter that when the trailer came out and she saw the flag, she asked me, Dad, why is this happening? She plays Fortnite and she says I could play as a girl in that game. We are people so upset about this. She looked at me and she couldn't believe it. And I'm like, okay, as a parent, how the hell am I going to respond to this? And said, you know what? You're right. This is not okay. Well, actually, Patrick, what you could have responded with is just said, yeah, honey, unfortunately back then, women did not fight on the front lines. They did all the other stuff like being nurses or even truck drivers. They weren't on the front lines killing Nazis or whoever else. Yeah, we're going for more historical accuracy here, not trying to please everyone and, oh, we're gonna show them that women can also kick ass on the front lines. Yeah, I don't think so. It also continues saying, these are people who are uneducated. They don't understand that this is a plausible scenario. Really? I'm the one uneducated, dude? Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe you are. Continuing on, this says, this is a game, he added, and today's game is a gender diverse, like this hasn't been before, and there are a lot of female poo-poo who play our game and male players who want to play as a badass woman. And the large majority of your players are males, so you're actually pissing more people off than pleasing people. So yeah, I'm not sure where you're going with that, Patrick Sutherland, but the final part that I really find the most hilarious is the bottom part. It says, we don't take any flack and we stand for the cause, because I think those people who don't understand it, well, you have two choices. Either you accept it or you don't buy it. I'm fine with either or. It's just not okay. This is where the whole kind of slogan, if you don't like it, don't buy it, comes into play. And I just find this hilarious because I've been playing Battlefield games for a couple years now. And for EA basically to shove a giant middle finger in my face and say, if you don't like us putting women in our game, don't buy it. Well, you know, it's kind of hilarious because after they said this, yeah, their sales plummeted. It's hilarious because they're forcing narratives and they're clearly saying that, hey, if you guys don't like it, don't buy it. Well, you know what? That's gonna have to be me, guys, because honestly for me, I don't like any of this bull crap. All this other crap going on behind the scenes, it's just not for me. So honestly for me, guys, I'm not gonna be buying this game at all. I hate all this narrative pushing crap that they're forcing down our throats in this game. And honestly, I don't recommend you guys to buy it either. I'm not going to be buying the game, and that's kind of things that I want to talk to you guys about in my conclusion. I'm not going to be buying the game. I don't think you guys should buy it either. And also, I think this kind of sucks because they also were going to show off the Battle Royale mode that they're working on because that's the trendy thing to do now. But honestly, I could care less about it now. I would have bought the game to play strictly the Battle Royale mode, but I'm not going to give EA $60 when they're telling me all this other crap about the games. I'm not feeling it. I don't know if you guys are either. You can comment down below what you guys think of the matter, but yeah, for me, I'm not buying this game, man. It's a no-go for me. That is going to conclude my Battlefield 5 beta. A lot of things I wanted to talk about, a lot of things I wanted to get off my chest. If you guys enjoyed my Battlefield 5 beta review video, please leave a like on this video. It truly means the world to me. Subscribe to the channel for future videos here on my channel. We post almost daily videos here. Also, comment down below what you guys thought of my review. Tell me if you guys agree, disagree, or anything else like that. It truly means the world to me. Also, click the bell notification so you guys never miss a future upload. Follow my Twitch and all my other social medias linked down in the description down below. Till next time, I will catch you guys in the next video.